Usual pyramid scheme from Dinka. And yeah, I'm curious to see, as mentioned, this time Sebastian has mixed Yummies with Purely. And there are some interesting synergies there, so let's see. Okay, we start things off with the Purely engine, and Dinka, you know, I mean, familiar with it, you see? Respect, I think it was another respect.
I mean, absolutely. The Purely strategy that is not used a lot nowadays, of course, and not a lot of people just think that is a very usual strategy, but still, it can do some things. When people are not prepared to it, you can just get the games very easily. The fact that you are able to just summon an unaffected monster is always very strong. And yeah, mixing it with the Yummies, you, of course, have some bridges. And I'm very I'm not surprised, but I'm expecting to see some very strong field, to be honest.
I mean, I also feel like that Purely has always been one of those decks we managed to get to see in action at previous YCSs also in the last 2 years, although, of course, they've fallen off on popularity, but still, it's always been a very consistent deck. And I really feel like it's one of those decks can really afford throughout the current format and also previous ones to basically be super competitive. Because if we look also at the Sebastian decks with the Yummy cards, which we haven't yet the chance to see in action, I really feel like you can basically adapt your strategy depending, of course, on the current format. But I also like the Zextra deck because essentially it's pretty much all one-offs. And that's all you need, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you mix such heavy, you know, extra deck reliant engines. Of course, extra deck space is an issue, but oof, it's a miss. I mean, gotta feel bad, but Dinka also got some important information, and here he goes. Wow, do we actually have the way to play right away? And that's a big opener from Dinka, who also just showed that he is not on just Fire King, but on those Jurracs.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good addition in Dinka's deck, which we haven't get the chance to see in previous tournaments, because essentially the Jurrac Megalo has a nice effect, which gets to send one of the Jurrac monsters also from the extra deck, which is something great, honestly. And also, once it's onto the field, you can discard up to 2 cards to draw essentially 2 new fresh cards from your deck.
Yeah, and it just allows the Fire King strategy to have a little bit more ceiling. You've got more interactions, and I think that is pretty good. Both players trying to add some other cards to just bring some more power and to be able to compete with all these the best decks, like the strategies, the Mitsurugi strategy, for example, which is very powerful. And we can compare those 2 decks, by the way, with the fact that they require a lot of skill, to be honest, to be used. If you do a single mistake playing Purely or Fire King, it is very hard for you to win the game. And bringing some decks like that, when you have to play 15 rounds of Swiss, I mean, you have to be very confident, to be honest.
I mean, look at this, because essentially once the Astero gets sent to the graveyard, you can also banish itself and another Jurrac to essentially synchro summon like another monster from the extra deck, which was essentially negated here by the droplet, which I think was really needed from Sebastian. Yes.
Would have been a mess otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Dinka playing with some of these new tools, but I mean, Droplet is popular this weekend. We have seen it already a couple of times, merely for the Yummy matchup, but in this case, you can use it during your own turn. Works, so.
And I love this strategy, because essentially with just one card that is being sent from the extra deck to the graveyard, you're able to summon the Jurrac Meteor, and you essentially clear up the whole field. And then you also, that way you can also trigger the Garunix. I mean, it's the more card you can put up on the field, the scarier the deck gets, which I mean, we also discussed this before. I think it's also a matter of the card choices, because Sebastian is playing Droplet in the main deck. We also see some other players main decking Dark Lurer. He also revealed some Book of Eclipses before when he missed. And I mean, I think this going second approach is paying off as well, even if now he started things off going first, and I think it's maybe one of the few scenarios in which the droplet was really needed.
I mean, without a droplet, I think it was pretty much over because both Pearly and Yummy, they want to get their bodies to stick on the field. And if you get literally your field wiped like that, I mean, you cannot do anything, and it's just over. And the Fire King strategy, it can end the game very quick. And speaking about the Fire King strategy, having the access to the Impulse is very, very good. One of the best cards of the format, of course. That's why Mitsurugi is such a strong deck. And yeah, Fire King can use this card as well.
But now, yeah, we can use the Capsi Yummy Way in response, just bringing back a couple more monsters to the field. And yeah, I guess we just get rid of these Meteor.
And the fact that Kirin has now some other targets, because before it was a 3-card combos. If you wanted to interact with your opponent during his turn, now you still have the 3-card combos, but you also have the ability to use that on the Jurrac monsters, and I think that's pretty good, to be honest.
I mean, also, I feel like that every single time that we have quite of an established meta game in which maybe we have 3 or 4 dominant decks, DKB shows up and proves us wrong, I would say. Because, of course, like, he's been playing this deck over the last year, and I mean, we saw him in action, and then he changed, kind of, you know, also adapting it to the current format. But I also really feel like that whenever he comes up with these ideas of like also adding up the Jurracs, I also wonder, yeah, okay, maybe we should consider him once again for the title, because of course, when you don't know what you're up against and with such niche interaction, honestly,
yeah,
how do you even deal with that?
And here we are gonna set up the Herald, which is extremely problematic for Fire King, you know. Destroying cards in the end or deck is common, and yeah, that's a big issue.
Absolutely, the second effect of the Herald is very, very strong because you don't want to get your resources banished, which is a bit hard for you, but there still is the Kirin for now on the field, which can just deal with the Herald.
Technically, but here you can see
there is the Link
exactly
on the field. So
one of the new tools from the latest Forbidden Limited list. Not surprisingly,
back.
Yeah, absolutely back, and works great in Yummy. And yeah, although we do have a Purely card on the field, this looks more like a Yummy opener than anything else. Here.
But there is my friend on the field.
Yeah, exactly. He's there, supporting.
And I'm really curious to see how Dinka is gonna deal with all of that, because not only there is the Herald, which is a big threat to the Fire King strategy, but there is also the SP now.
Yeah, this was
all the Yummy strategy
played so beautifully by Sebastian, and I think, yeah, Dinka has just seen enough.
Yeah.
Not even gonna attempt to have a go at this, and I can't blame him. What an opener from the Frenchman.
But the game was pretty interesting, to be honest, because we got to see more information from those decks. We saw the Jurrac strategy, and Sebastian saw that as well, and we saw that it was very, very good, because not only you get to special summon 2 monsters on your field, so you start with already some resources, but also you get to clear all the entire field if it resolves, which is, of course, such a strong interaction, especially against some decks like Pearly Yumi. And we know that Yumi is one of the best decks of the format, if not the best one. So of course you want to have such tools against those decks.
Yeah, I mean, of course we can never count Dinka out, especially in this kind of matches, because we have seen him a lot of times being 1-0, beaten down and recovering for him. But I mean, I think the Droplo, of course, was the card that saved Sebastian, because I mean, with such interactions, honestly, I think it would have changed so much the game with the Meteor itself, just shutting down essentially Sebastian's strategy, leaving it with 1 card in hand. So.
Yeah. But now we go to the side decks, and of course Dinka gets to go first. And I've got some exciting news for our lovely host Ed Templa, because I see that Dinka is also playing that Oviraptor, so one of his favorite cards ever. And so I'm sure you will be excited to see it in action, possibly. But yeah, I mean, going first, the deck is obviously very consistent. He can set up multiple forms of disruption. And yeah, it could line up very well, as you've mentioned already, Jean. You know, both Purely and Yami have similar weaknesses where, you know, if you just clear the field and keep on destroying them, they don't have so many pushes. And let's see how they will be paired up against. On the other end, I mean, I would be shocked if Sebastian had Fire King in mind as one matchup. But I mean, Droplet worked. We saw already Book of Eclipse in the main deck. He could also be an interesting option to just keep. He had the Droll and Lock, which is also annoying. So I think he could just keep it as is. But I think they are done. So without further ado, let's just go to the table. Let's see what this has in store. A lot of different ways to start plays. I know.
We saw some cards.
I know. I know, right? Do we open this access to Fire King Island? What do we want to go about our play? And okay, we do open Volcanics. Solid. And Sebastian having a reader, I mean, not so surprised again, even though it won YCS 1 year back. Haven't really seen so much success lately.
So opening with Volcanics is a pretty strong start, to be honest. This is a good one, especially considering the fact that if your opponent has some targeting interruption, you still has the ability to just chain Kirin and get your effect going through. Here we're going to get rid of the Ash, which is indeed a fire monster.
Wow.
And search the Garonix, which will be able to special summon itself.
Yeah, obviously getting rid of Ash is not ideal. Might signal a second copy, even though in this deck you can get it back with... but as mentioned, there is the Droll and Lock Bird. And it could be annoying. I was saying you can go Sunlight Wolf often and, you know, in a combo get the Ash Blossom back. But, yeah, I guess you would rather destroy other cards.
There we'll see, because the Fire King strategy sometimes can just navigate around the Draw and Lock Bird and just manage to just get the whole field.
But also Ash from Sebastian.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah, however, there goes
and we're going to see the
talent.
Wow.
And that's rough. If you get rid of friend, you have nothing in that end.
You're gonna have to top deck the right card.
And also something important to mention, we have seen players using Ash Blossom against Dinka back at the YCS, and with the Ita, it was actually detrimental because you can get into Ita and then Princess and still play. So this might actually be worse for Sebastian.
Let's see if he decides to just go into this play, and I think he is going to do so. The Hita is right there,
a lot of sense.
Using the Ash immediately and going into the Promethean Princess. We've seen her so many times in the past, and she's back. Now we are going to special summon back a monster from the graveyard and be able to just extend the plays. And you know, every single time we see Sebastian reading the card, I just can't stop telling myself that you have to bring a deck like that, you know, to a YCS.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you take so much advantage from the lack of knowledge of your opponents.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. I think it's one of the best things, no? But,
that's
okay.
fast. Yeah, and we top deck one of the best cards possible.
Wow.
Wow.
Heart of the cards.
Yeah, indeed. but still the rest of the end was very underwhelming. I guess he doesn't have space for Armilage in his extra deck with the pure lead, because otherwise we could also have seen the draw normal, but yeah, most likely no space. But we do have the Linkuribo, no?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we are going to go into the Snatchy. And a bit of sinking over here, trying to figure out what Sebastian wants to do and what he can do exactly. But we are going to activate the Skyburn, which will then trigger all the effects in the graveyard, especially the Garnix. Getting rid of the Snatchy. Runix being special summoned and able to destroy from the deck. I mean, pretty good spot to be in, to be honest. Right now, I don't see much things that Sebastian could do.
I mean, being left only with the drawn as well in the hand and another card, it's not ideal. I think Dinka, it's controlling this one.
Yeah, I mean,
quite okay, yeah.
It will be a big surprise for me if Sebastian won this one. But who knows?
There's I know.
yes, indeed, and this Fire King Avatar Kirin is a new inclusion in the deck as well, allowing you to extend your play sometimes further. It acts as a sort of Foolish Burial, and yeah, that is it. As expected, this is gonna be a quick one. I mean, already 2 games down in about 17 minutes. And that is good news. It means that this amazing match will go to game 3, and we'll have plenty of time for that game, over 30 minutes to be played. Well, it didn't look close for either of the two going first, no?
I mean, yeah, both players knowing very well how to play their decks and how to navigate through the interruptions, knowing very well when they lose the game as well. So here, Sebastian recognizing the fact that he couldn't do anything, to be honest, because there was an additional interruption with Princess being in the graveyard. Yep. So yeah, the game was pretty much lost. But we saw that there were some tools going second as well, because on the first game, I mean, if it wasn't for the droplet, I think that Dinka would just have won the game on the spot. So yeah, we still don't know who is going to win the game, because Sebastian is going to go first once again, but we'll have some tools to just get rid of his field during his turn, or even during our own turn, because we know that Fire King going second can be a little bit overwhelming. Sorry.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird game 1, because if you open the Jurrac Menagalo plus Kirin, it's the dream opening, because pretty much it turns into the best entrap possible, you know, completely nuking the field. But if it gets stopped as it was, it just means you lost 2 cards, and then it's tougher to play, because at the end of the day, Fire King is still a deck that wants to grind, you know, it needs some cards to play. So it will be down to that. It would be shocking, you know, if he opens again that 2-card combo. But regardless, I think Sebastian is also going to be thinking, do I take these droplets out? They saved me game 1. You kind of want to take them out going first, but I'm sure you won't, you know, because you are afraid of it. And we'll see. It seems very confident, though. As you can see, he's the one who is already done with his side deck, so that's surprising to me.
I mean, I feel like for sure he's gonna take out the Dark Ruler no more. This go out.
That's a good idea.
Anyways, Book of Eclipse. Most likely, depends.
It's alright,
it's okay.
But yeah, not the greatest maybe. And the thing is, again, you have to try and improvise, and he was quick with it. I see an interesting quick spell that could be very good against some of these Fire King cards, but truth is, we haven't really seen an island being on the field at all in this match yet, so that's also something. And yeah, regardless, I mean, it's nice again to see both of these duelists, new format, new rules, but undefeated with really interesting decks. And that will mean, though, however, that only one of them will continue going 5-0 and trying to claim, you know, what is now And it's incredible to say only a third of the Swiss.
Absolutely.
You know? Like 5 rounds used to be almost half, now they are a third. You have 10 more, which is, I mean, it's a lot. So let's see. Regardless, game 3 is ready. Let's find out who will be the winner.
Sebastian going first here. He will have for sure a lot of tools to try to just set a strong field up. But Dinka, we've seen that before. We know that he has a lot of tools going second. We've talked about the combo, of course, but there is still also his 3-card combos.
And I see a card you might want to return the favor back to Dinka from last game. So let's see what's going to happen. But same start as game 1 for now with the pure Lille. Usually accessing my friend purely, but
yeah, it's probably going to be the case because you want to just add some more resources, and yeah, indeed, it is the my friend purely.
Do we see a draw? Nope.
It would be devastating, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dwalin Logbird, I mean, in the meta games where Dwalin Logbird is there, that's strong as well.
Yeah, that's strong as well, absolutely. And now there is a big decision because, I mean, that's just 8. There is, okay, we're going to chain this, I'm assuming, to just prevent one draw. And
I mean, the problem is that there is no good solution, to be honest. There is no good answer because if you decide to stop there, then you are literally on nothing. And you cannot defend yourself against the Fire King strategy. And if you decide to just extend and go into your whole combo, it's going to be very difficult, very hard for you because, of course, Dinka is going to just draw at some point the Jurrac cards plus the Kirin, and you cannot do a lot against that.
And that's an interesting decision. We got rid of the bell, and for anyone wondering what is the bridge, this opener, if it wasn't for the Fuvalos, I can just go into Yummies because you can just go for a Link 1 and then you have, you know, your level 1 and Link 1. Do we whiff? No, we do not. Okay. Very different from the first game.
Yeah, he's going to be happy with this one.
Yeah,
with the happy memory.
Yeah, either happy or pretty. I mean, tough to distinguish with the rarities. Yeah, now we just have my friend purely. Yeah, it's solid, but the question is just how much do you want to commit?
Yeah, that is not a very good situation to be in, to be honest. I don't know if he's going to go all in and try to just set his entire field up.
Yeah.
What would you do, to be honest?
The thing is that it's all about also how many cards do you want your opponent to draw and where to and when to activate the talent. Because essentially you really want like to maximize on this. I mean, of course, the Fuvalos is playing a huge role, but I mean, I really feel like, of course, this is completely different than game 1, being the Fuvalos there. And also, I'm wondering, the Ghost Bell was discarded by Sebastian, so I mean, he really needs to make sure that this may be enough for him, you know?
Yeah, and we are giving now the first draw. Summoning actually the first, you know, purely XYZ, but there it is, Triple Tactics Talent taking a look. Oh, wow.
Oh, missing in resource. I mean, this is a good hand.
Yeah.
This is a good hand. There are multiple starters.
What do you
It's
think?
very solid, though.
So do you get rid of the Alchonix or?
Yeah.
The Sanctuary as well is good.
I mean, the hand looks amazing.
Yeah. Oh, got rid of the Ash Blossom.
So you want to combo, probably.
Yeah. I guess so, but then the question is, like, you just continue comboing first, no? Because then you can take a look at the end. So it's a bit of an interesting situation if you don't want to stop, but. We should remember Michelanosaurus is limited, so even though it's there, it has been drawn as the one-off, which is, you know, quite fortunate. Obviously, the Jurrac, it's a level 1, so it all works out.
So now we activate the happy memory.
Yeah. And I think just some clarification on, I mean, we can't really interact, so.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering,
Yeah.
actually.
Exactly. So maybe just some reminders of what these additional bonus effects are. And yeah, Sebastian yeah, not happy. I mean, don't blame him. The end is very, very strong and he's pushing. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's very surprising.
The thing is, if you go for talent before doing this, are you really hoping that your opponent just doesn't have any other interaction?
And this is a big
or,
reveal. Kinda saved, but yeah.
I mean, it's not what you expected, to be honest. That's,
Absolutely not. I mean, better than nothing, but definitely not what you wanted. But still, as you can see here, I mean, the goal has been accomplished, summoning this Noir unaffected. You basically ask your opponent, okay, how do you out it? And we are going for Yummy combo as well.
Oh, okay.
Because that seems very much committing into if now we want to go for like Capsi Yummy. And yeah, for now at least we do have the Capsi. I guess so. We are committed to just going off. Can't stop at this point.
I mean, he's got the Expert Noir, which is already pretty good. And even if he gets interrupted, he can just sit on this card and try to, say to his opponent, I dare you to out it.
I mean, I guess you can also just make your Snatchy if you don't want to commit, but no, he's going all in. So, Capsi Yummy way most likely. Yep. So many draws for Dinka.
And that's what you want playing Fire King.
Yeah. I guess maybe he wanted to check for Nibiru, but like still, I don't know how much it makes sense if you just want to continue to use the talent immediately, I guess. I don't know. Anyways.
So we are going to add 2 fresh cards.
Yep.
2 new cards to the hand and discard 1.
Not going for Marshmallow, and then we are gonna discard something. I mean, we know surprises in the. We know everything pretty much, and us, Dinka, because it's the Mind Friend and then the double Yummy plus surprise. Yep, makes sense.
And I mean, you can make your opponent draw a lot of cards, but if you have the Expert Noir, I mean, you are still safe. And even if Dinka draws a lot of cards, he still has a limited amount of interactions. So if he activates everything and you've got the answers, I mean, you'd better combo off.
I agree. But Miscellaneous is a good
It's card.
a card. It's a card. And so being unaffected and then possibly going for, just a Jurrac Meteor. I do agree with this, though. If we are going in, we need to set up the Herald because it disrupts so much that then with the Noir to back it up, it makes so much sense.
And you know, it reminds me a lot of Malice during the past format, where, you know, when you were playing Malice, you just went full combo because you knew that your opponent, even with like 15 cards in hand, it would be very hard for him to just go through the field and get rid of the follow-up. So I think this is pretty much the same here. He decided that, I mean, if you've got the Herald and the Expert Noir, it's very, very hard for your opponent. Plus the surprise, plus the Yummy. The surprise.
Never mind.
Speaking of surprises.
And he's getting rid of the Dark Lurer as well.
Yeah, that's so big. Yeah, getting rid of Dark Lurer is also interesting because obviously now what Sebastian can do is just use the surprise right away. But yeah, we outed the Herald and now we are sitting on like 10 cards.
And we have the Mud Dragon. You can just call fire and all of a sudden you cannot just get the cards out of the field with the Expert Noir. So very, very, very strong card. So Ed must be very happy.
Ed, you know, Ed is happy.
but he drew a lot of cards.
And-
And searching for the Dogoran right here. I forgot about that, but yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
And you can just get rid of the Expurli Noir right away.
This-
That's very strong, very, very strong here for Dinka, and he's got so many cards in hand.
Yeah, this really seems like checkmate. We've mentioned it, Lunalight being in the format and having success means that players are looking for outs. And I'm sure Dinka was thinking about the Liger Dancer when putting this Oviraptor plus Dogoran, but it just works so well against the Expurli Noir. And there it
Wow.
is, wow.
It is outed. The Expurli Noir is going to the graveyard thanks to the Dogoran of Dinka, and now he's in a pretty good spot. So yeah, of course,
And
there is the effect of my friend, but a
wow.
second polymerization. This is so strong. I mean, Gerura is on the field now. How do you resist that?
Yeah, you
How do you
don't.
resist that?
I mean, you just, say kudos to you and call it a day. I mean, Dinka just keeps on surprising us event after event. I mean, he's just one step ahead of everyone, it seems like. Even though, of course, it might not be your day, and then he's not winning every event. He always keeps, and find ways of being competitive with these kind of strategies.
And now he's going to go into the Fire King strategy, summoning back the
that's
Avatar, and I
enough.
think this is it for Sebastian.
And there it is.
Dinka takes the game and takes the duel after a very convincing game 3.
Yeah.
2 super polymerization plus, he had everything.
Yeah,
of course, the
absolutely.
Fuvalos was very good right there. We said that, the fact that you are able to draw multiple cards, and we know that Fire King likes to have a lot of cards in hand because you have those double, triple card combos, plus those cards that we just saw, the super poly, which is very good, and the Oviraptor, which was there for the Lunalight matchup, but came up right on time for this Expurli Noir. What a game from Dinka, what a duel we just witnessed. I mean, it was very, very interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, very much so, and both really were doing well and doing their own thing with their own decks. But before we move on to talking about the deck, we can quickly jump to the backup future for just some more Yu-Gi-Oh action. Oh, wow! Again, DDD. What's going on with the backup on DD? Yeah, I mean, look at this. Looks much more promising than the last time we saw the backup with the DD player. I mean, just going in, and it's 1-0, and it might be a quick 2-0 for the DD player now.
I mean, yeah, looks promising as you just said, but the DD strategy, which is very good, got some support.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you know how to play the deck is very, very scary to face, to be honest, because you've got a lot of line of plays, you've got some very convincing ways to win the game or try to win the game. And on the other hand, we see a returning deck with the Voiceless Voice strategy, some ritual summoning. I mean, we don't see a lot of ritual right now, but usually we see some, and paired with some Mitsurigi cards, of course. I mean, when you think about ritual monsters, you think about those two decks. I mean, there is still some Drytron, but
Yeah. No, but
interesting.
I mean, it's interesting to see also, as we previously mentioned, Mitsurugi being mixed up with Voiceless Voice. That's the case. Another deck that over the last years at YCS we also got the chance to see in action. And yeah, I mean, I think that the trend today is not to play meta decks. Like,
Try to surprise your opponents.
Absolutely, and I mean, I like it, especially because we mentioned how important it is to just try to find your key to win matches and bring them home. But most importantly, if your opponent is not super experienced to play against this type of decks, of course you are on the driving seat for the tournament.
And DDD is, of course, one of the best decks to be able to be in this type of situations, because yeah, there is a lot of text, to be honest, on the cards. There's some pendulum cards, and back then, you know, a few years ago, when DDD was played a little bit more than it was a few months ago, I mean, a lot of players were scared to face this deck because they didn't know exactly the lines, and if you were experienced with the deck, you always had a way to just go into your end field in a very convincing way. Plus the fact that you have a multiple end field. You are not forced to go into a single one. You can just choose your way, choose your path, and end up on different sort of interactions depending on the decks that you are just facing.
Yeah, I mean, again, for the day, you know, we have seen already, and we have, as mentioned, over 2,000 duelists, close to 2,500 duelists. So you can expect to see a lot of different decks. And I mean, it seems like it is really open because we have had, you know, formats where decks felt just on a different power level. Nowadays, not so much, so you can, you know, adjust your deck and just play whatever you're comfortable with, and it can work out. So let's see.
Let's see how it works for those two duelists. 4-0 for both of them, so they are in a pretty good spot for now. But as you said before, Marcelo, yeah, this is 15 rounds, and 15 rounds is it's a long way. It's a long road.
It is. I mean, yeah, it's really different. As we were saying, you could even go 9-0 today, and then before you pretty much were going to sleep, you know, thinking, okay, I'm basically in top cut.
Yeah.
I can relax. If you go 9-0 today, tomorrow you need to win 4, and you know, that's not easy. You need to win 4 out of 6. So job's not done, definitely, and we'll see, you know. But I mean, it's as open as ever. Of course, I guess you know, making it to the top 8 pretty much requires you to go 13-2. But then you still want to make it to, well, it used to be, you know, top 64 and so on to get some of the amazing prizes. So it still matters. And now Ivan really with this only 1,000 life points remaining, trying his best to stay in this match.
So a bit of interactions between the two players. They are just talking about the game, basically, trying to just keep the game state fine. And I'm sure that both of them were not prepared to face this type of decks, to be honest. I mean, Voiceless Voice, it was a long time since we've seen that being played a lot competitively. Mitsurugi a little bit more, of course. But DDD, I think that going into this event, you had to know what DDD does, because you know that the deck had a lot of support. That is pretty good, to be honest. So I think that players should be prepared.
Yeah, and here comes Soravis.
Such a good card.
Yeah.
And little by little, we try to just get back in the game with these 1,000 life points. But it's enough to win a game, to be honest.
It is, but while initially looked promising for you know, DD to just takes it to 0, now it's the opposite, and it makes you wonder what is the time limit in which you're like, okay, maybe I pick up my cards, because we are on 18 minutes remaining, and both of these decks combos take a long time.
So let's see how it turns out. And now we are going to enter battle phase, I guess. Yeah, we're going to attack. And it actually looks great now for Ivan.
I'll just see how much damage he can push, and it could be already enough.
Yeah.
So
and we're going to summon another one thanks to this service.
Yeah.
And that might just be game, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
Might
as
just
well.
be game.
Yeah, he's just doing some maths just because you really want to make sure. You can close this one out. Yeah, it's just having a read that his car's just, you know, you don't want to make any mistake at this stage.
But yeah, as you can see, DDD trying now to stay in this, surprising even. Sometimes it gets down to this battle of knowledge where have you played against this deck? Do you have your, you know, local hero where maybe, you know, at your local shop there is this one guy who keeps on bringing DDD and then suddenly, you know, you know how to play the deck against the deck perfectly, and you know, those things matter. So it could be down to these niche interactions on who takes this one.
And we are continuing the battle phase, trying to get rid of all the monsters left on the field of the DD's player. And it's going to be very interesting to know who started this game, because during the third game, if there is one, the player who goes first will have a huge advantage. A huge one.
And I really feel like that having a look at their graveyards, it must have been a funny one, because they activated quite a few cards, and this type of matches, which are very back and forth ones, as some that we've seen on stream today, is just you can really tell who's going to be the players bringing home. But for sure, what I can tell is that Evans field, it's quite scary. And now let's see if Sean Song can somehow deal this last remaining 1,000 damage to his opponent.
So yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he wanted to pick up his cards yet, and now it's down to 13 minutes remaining. 800 life points against 1,000.
I like those games.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
the back and forth games where you don't know who's gonna win. Because in this situation, you would just think that Ivan just wins the game on the spot. But this is Didi, and Didi has a lot of tools. Just get back into the game.
Indeed. And here's one from back in the day.
And if you manage to get rid of the continuous spells, I mean, there is right now a relinquished anima in attack position with not a lot of attack points.
Yeah, and now we can go for this Genghis, you know, fusion summoning from the grave.
So this is a good first step. But what more can he do to just take it all, get the second point, the second game?
Yeah, we also don't know what's left in this extra deck, so let's find out if he can make it. But both of our duelists are just with a handful of life points remaining.
And we are entering, I mean, a very tough spot in my opinion, because there is only 12 minutes remaining on the clock.
Yes.
And we're still in game 2. So if we are going to game 3, you mentioned it earlier, we take a lot of time to do the combos, and I mean, you don't want to get the double loss. So Yeah, and indeed, we are probably going to game 3 now.
Oh, okay. I think actually even conceded.
Oh,
Yes, so it's a
So it's a
2-0
2-0.
victory. Yeah,
Nice.
2-0 victory.
Nice.
Wow, I mean, very
And,
nice.
yeah, I mean, with the back against the wall, worked out in the end. I mean, yeah, just another show of what another of these niche picks can do. Another deck undefeated that we didn't expect. Maybe at some point we'll get it on the main future match so we can see it from the start. But regardless, now our spotlight should be on Dinka Bui once more with a comeback down, losing the first game and then managing to climb it up with what was an amazing end with the Oviraptor for Ed's joy into the Dogoran. So I think without further ado, we do have our interview ready. So let's hear it from Dinka and Leo.
Thank you so much. Indeed, I am joined by the GOAT Dinka Bui himself. How are you feeling?
Very excited. I'm really hyped after winning the game 3 in this kind of matchup because I was scared after losing game 1. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna win game 3 except I draw Fuva into some good combinations.
Well, that tended to work out quite well for you.
Yeah.
What inspired you to play Fire King again? I mean, you won a YCS with this deck, but now again?
Yes, after the Battle of Legends set got released, I tried around with the Dino cards and I figured out the cards are very good in Fire King. They are basically made for Fire King. They synergize very well and the interruptions they offer they are very like insane in Fire King.
Well, you're mentioning the dinosaur interruptions. Actually, let's look at game 1 for a little bit. There we have it. You had the combo. You had Kirin and Megalo.
combo, yes.
Tell me, what does that do?
It's basically a Black Rose Dragon on the opponent's turn. If you draw Kirin and the small Jurrac monster. Yes, you pop the Jurrac sends the Astero, and then the Astero banishes itself and the Megalo to summon the Meteor, which nukes the whole board, basically.
How many times did you draw Kirin plus Megalo already?
Today, it was the second time.
Second time already.
Second time.
Did it win you the game the first time? Because this time you got dropleted and it didn't do anything.
My opponent bricked that game.
Couldn't even use it. But then, were there still hopes in that game for you? Because you, of course, also had Dominus Impulse. That was a really good hand.
Yes, when I saw my hand, I was like, okay, pretty good hand. I had a starter. I had 2 hand traps. But when he dropped it in my monster, I was like, okay, this is looking very bad. And then he link summoned Linkuriboon, and I was like, no, please don't summon a Yummy monster. And I summoned Capsi, and then it was clear it was over for me. Yeah.
What do you like about the Yummy and Pearly version of the deck? Like, do you think it's an improvement to pure Yummy?
It's very interesting, I think, because the Pearly cards, they are very good into board breakers, I think, and also very good into Fuva loss. So that's a very interesting choice, to be honest. Yeah.
All right, let's go into the next game because we all know you ended up winning the match. This was still game 1 that you lost afterwards. The Aspidin Light banishing the Kirin as well. But there, you got disrupted so hard on that turn by Droll and Blockbird and Ash Blossom. And is that your usual end board that you just end on a Promethean Princess there?
I mean, after draw, it's something like this, plus the Jurrac interruptions, because I wanted to send the Misk of the baby Kirin to have the additional board wipe, but the Ash stopped that play.
I didn't even realize that Miscellaneous Sorrows can be sent by the Kirin.
Yeah.
That is insane,
That's a bridge.
actually.
Yeah.
And now you had a big turn with the Fire Kings with the spell card. What's the name of the
Skyburn.
Skyburn.
Yes.
Exactly. So you destroyed the Kirin. Do you always send Miscellaneous Sorrows, or did this come up more often that you're sending like the avatars?
A lot of time, especially if I get drawed after Island or Oceanic Search. This plays pretty well around draw, to be honest. Like searching the Grunix immediately, and then even if they draw me, I still have a lot of follow-up and interruptions.
Yes. So the Megalo also only triggers when it is being destroyed, but Miscellaneous Sorrows destroys in the end phase,
Yeah.
so you just chill with it on
that's-
the field. Actually, let's go into the last game. You won that one pretty convincingly. You looked into the hand of your opponent. In this game, I was very curious. You used Fualos on an open game state.
Yes.
is that the correct play, or do you think there's maybe a better chance to Fualos versus Pearly?
Usually against Pearly, you want to wait until the Pearly players drops a quick spell. But with my hand, I was like, I have 2 chain blocks with Ash Blossom and with Mist to chain block the attach of the Pearl Exceed. And in case my opponent reads the Fualos, I want to play one to Fualos by going into Link River. I wanted to shotgun it just in case he has Cupsy or some other name in hand, just to get the safe draw.
Right, yeah, I can see that. Do you agree with your opponent's choice to take away the Ash Blossom? Or if your opponent just took away some engine and then passed, you think he would have gotten it?
I mean, I had 2 engine starters, which were the Sanctuary and the Olconix. So I think taking the Ash was correct in this spot, for sure.
Right, and now we're going to go into the last clip here. And that is the search of Jurrac the Mad Flame Kaiju. How often did that come up this day?
It was the first time today. It's mainly for Lunar Light, but it was pretty neat in this matchup, of course, as well.
What do you do against Lunar Light if they have 2 Liger Dancer?
One can be outed by Dogoran, and the second one can be outed by an engine cards like the Garunix, for example, which gets up to 39 after popping a Kirin. That's an option. Also, like Raging Phoenix can run over the towers. There are plenty of outs to Ligo Dancer.
You're playing Super Polymerization. What matchup is this card usually for? I assume it's also Yummy?
For Yummy. Mainly Yummy, but also Mitsurugi and other decks.
How often did that one came up so far? What's your MVP card of the tournament?
MVP? Probably the Jurrac cards. The Megalo. It's my favorite card of the deck.
So do you also play this as part of your main combo, like not only drawing Kirin plus Megalo, but you use like the Misk?
Yes, usually I always go into Misk, into Megalo to have the board web, because I think it's by far the best interruption the Fire King deck can offer.
When you won the YCS with Fire King before, the deck was usually a bit low ceiling. You played it mostly because it doesn't play into the hand traps that were run in this format. Do you think the ceiling of the Fire King deck now is as high as the other decks?
It's much higher. I would say this is a combo deck now. It's not a mid-range hand trap deck, it's a combo deck.
So the complete approach changed?
Yes.
All right, you heard it here first. DKB, thank you so much for your time. Good luck on the rest of your tournament run. So far you're undefeated. Do you think you can win back-to-back with Fire King?
Let's see.
All right, let's see. We're going to go into a little break, but we're going to be back soon with round 6.